Welcome, YouTubeites. It's your boy Austin with the Finance Recap, reporting from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, bringing you the top 5 stories of finance for the week, why you should care and how it affects you. So without any further ado, let's get to it. This week, China reported that their economy, or GDP, has grown by 3% and that the population has shrunk by some 850,000 people. The 3% growth rate is their lowest since negative 1.6 in 1976, which was following the death of Chairman Mao. The only exception was in 2020, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when their economy grew by only 2.2%. In an effort to spur growth, China has abandoned the zero-COVID policy, which has resulted in a wave of infections. China is reporting some 60,000 deaths from COVID since December. However, the World Health Organization is skeptical about the validity of these figures, and why wouldn't you be with such an open and transparent regime, right? Additionally, this marks the first population decline for China since 1960, a year that saw the Great Chinese Famine. The one-child policy, which was in effect from 1980 to 2015, has also played a huge role in the decline. However, birth rates have not increased since repealing the initiative due to similar socioeconomic issues facing Western nations, including economic circumstances and shifting demographics. Despite the challenges, Vice Premier Li He stated at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, that he is confident that China's growth will return to its normal trend, i.e., they'll start inflating numbers again soon, if they haven't already. As of January 19th, the government has officially hit the $31.4 trillion borrowing limit. But don't worry, we're not in any real danger of defaulting on our debts just yet, as the Treasury Department has some extraordinary measures up its sleeve to avoid default. However, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that these such measures will be exhausted by early June if Congress does not act to increase the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling was last raised in December 2021 when it was raised by $2.5 trillion. Newly elected Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has spoken out against raising the debt limit unless there are also federal spending cuts. Social Security and Medicare are broadly supported across party lines and appear safe. Defense spending is the big ticket, but let's be real. Cutting defense spending is like trying to cut your hair with a butter knife. It just ain't happening. It's important to note that a standoff in 2011 over the debt limit caused S&P to downgrade U.S. debt from AAA, the highest rating, to AA+. If an agreement can't be reached by early June, the U.S. risks defaulting on its debt by not making scheduled payments. This would cripple investor confidence in U.S. Treasuries, leading to a sell-off in U.S. Treasuries and an increase in interest rates. It could also lead to missed payments for Medicare and Social Security, as well as general market turmoil, as the U.S. Treasuries do underpin many transactions. Tell us in the comments below, what do you think about the U.S.'s constant spending? What programs would you like to see cut? What taxes would you like to see increased? This week, the Commerce Department released December retail sales, which have declined 1.1% from November to December, marking the largest monthly decline of the year and the second consecutive month of falling sales. Additionally, the Producer Price Index, or PPI, which captures prices suppliers are charging businesses and consumers, was 6.2% in December, a decrease from 7.3% in November. This is the first monthly decline since August and the slowest increase in PPI since March 2021. The highest recorded PPI was 11.7 back in March of 2022. These figures, paired with employment data that we've covered, point that the Federal Reserve will be slowing interest rates in their next meeting, January 31st through February 1st. Recent public statements from Fed officials indicate that they plan to implement slower, more traditional rate increases of 25 basis points. Officials have stated that they need time to see their rate hikes flow through the economy so that they can assess their effectiveness. So tell me in the comments below, where do you think our economy is heading? Do you think rates are going to go over 5%? Do you think we see a recession in the future? Increased interest rates and fears of a looming recession have pushed many of the world's largest companies to begin sweeping layoffs. Google's doing a little spring cleaning, cutting some 12,000 jobs, or 6% of the company. This is the largest such layoff in the company's history. Next up on the chopping block are 10,000 jobs at Microsoft, which is less than 5% of the company, but this is the largest such layoff since 2014, when the company shed 18,000 jobs while pulling out of the cell phone business. RIP Windows Phone, am I right? CEO Satya Nadella was in Davos attending, you guessed it, the World Economic Forum while the layoffs were announced. It didn't go over well. Amazon is also cutting 18,000 jobs, or 1.2% of the company, while Salesforce is cutting 10% of their workforce. Goldman Sachs is cutting 3,200 jobs, or 7% of the company, after jettisoning their attempts at commercial banking. In the crypto industry, which has been hit the hardest with declines in coin values and bankruptcies, Coinbase and Crypto.com are cutting 20% of their workforce, while Genesis is preparing for bankruptcy and shedding 30% of its workforce. Overall, the tech sector had cut 150,000 jobs back in 2022. So tell me in the comments below, what are you seeing at your companies? Are they hiring? Are they freezing? Are they firing? This week, over 2,700 politicians, heads of state, corporate executives, and even Idris Elba descended upon the small mountain town of Davos, Switzerland for the annual World Economic Forum. The organization was begun in 1974 by German Professor Klaus Schwab as the European Management Forum, but has grown immensely and is now known for billionaires telling millionaires how the middle class should live. The forum is known for spawning conspiracy theories, but almost every conspiracy theory is rooted in some form of marketing that the World Economic Forum has put out, from the Great Reset to eating crickets. This year's theme was Cooperation in a Fragmented World, and after watching more hours of the conference and coverage of the conference than I'm proud to admit, the key takeaways are all initiatives and pilot programs, roadmaps, oh my. So basically it's been as productive as that sales conference you had in Vegas last year. The one positive out of the whole week was that Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and Chinese Vice Premier Liu He were able to skip town whilst others gave out bad news on their behalf.